Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning in the UK. How are we today?
Good morning.
What about the people in Ireland? Good morning.
Sorry, also the people in the Emerald Eye, top of the morning.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Sorry, I apologise for that. I should have said that part of the world.
Yeah. Hi, folks. Anyway, sorry about that.
That's all right, mate. No worries. So how are we? Haven't been around for a few weeks and haven't really caught up with you. How are you feeling, Kev?
I've still got that bastard cough. Oops, I'm swearing already, and it's not making the show even started. Yeah, I'm on the cough mixtures now and lozenges and all that. Just can't shake it off.
Yeah.
But that's all right. I get on with it, you know.
Yeah.
So,
You're not a smoker, are you?
No, 17 years since I've had.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Lucky you. Yeah, neither's my little one, but she's been coughing for about a month now. And I keep saying to the missus, should we not take her to the doctors? And she's like, well, everybody else in her class has exactly the same thing. Yeah. So she rang up the other day and it was 28 people in front of her on the phone line.
Oh, lovely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, Simon, how are you, sir? How's the sunny north today?
Yeah, it's good. Sunny Teesside today, which is really nice. Autumn leaves flying everywhere. So, it's really nice. We've had Storm Barbet here battering us for the last couple of days, so it's nice to have a break from that. And,
And no flooding around your area?
A little bit. Scotland got it worst, I think.
Yes.
So there's a few people that died, unfortunately, but it's climate change for you. But I'm glad to be back talking about Spurs. It's missed it like mad.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's get on from the weather and let's start talking about Tottenham. Well, we'll start talking about the international break first. So, starting off, Romero and Heung-min Song both got little injuries on international duty with Argentina and South Korea, respectively. From what I'm hearing from Ange, they're both ready to play, which is a bit of a bonus because can you imagine losing both of them at the same time? That would not be.
Captain, vice captain as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So did anyone watch anything over the international break? Did you watch any of the England games?
Yeah, I watched the England game, watched a couple of the others. It was good. It was England. Everybody's saying the England game was so good and all that, but it's relative, isn't it? You know, like normally these kind of international break games, and one's a friendly, one's a qualifier, and all that. They're kind of like cagey affairs, aren't they? They're not, they never set the world alight. So relative to that, it was a good game.
Yeah.
It's interesting, wasn't it, to see our players against each other. It always makes you smile.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not telepathic or anything, but they were clearly like, let's not injure each other, because otherwise Ange will go mental.
Well, I heard a little rumor on Twitter that Jack Grealish or the England squad went to a rather upper class nightclub in Mayfair after the match, and Jack Grealish and James Maddison were singing about Destiny Udogie and gave him a cheers as well, which I think is kind of nice. Did you also see that, Kev? Did you see that video with Harry Kane and Vicario?
No, I haven't actually.
No? Well, so what it looked like, Vicario, you couldn't really see what he was saying, but you could see Kane's...
sorry, I beg your pardon. I did. Yeah. Now you've mentioned it. Yeah. They put a voice to it, didn't they?
Oh, did they? I didn't see that.
Yeah, but they lip synced it with something.
Yes. Yeah.
They said, I'm coming back or something.
Yeah. Do you not think that's probably just in the Champions League when we get Munich next time?
Yeah. I think he's come back to say goodbye to everyone. He's got free visits to White Hart Lane now, isn't he?
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
A cloud, didn't he? So.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of the internationals at all because I was over in England.
Oh yeah, how did that go?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it was all family related. You know what I mean? So family and shopping and non-stop.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you get plenty of your, was it Vindaloo curry paste?
Oh, we got all that. Yeah, got that. On our way back, even coming through Command, we stopped at Tesco's there and bought 11 cans of Cantonese sauce and all. So it was a double bonus. So we cleared the shelves in a lot of places. Yeah. I'd wonder what would happen if the customs stopped us and see all the shopping we got. They think this ain't duty free.
Yeah, but you still pay the duty in England. Does
there's no duty on. You're allowed to spend 400 quid or something each or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're well within the limits. We're poor. Yeah.
So let's talk about Destiny Dogie. How did you think he played, Simon? Seeing as you watched the match, I only caught snippets of it because I was trying to watch the Denmark match and I couldn't find a very legal stream anywhere. So I was watching Switch on the Dutch channel, which switched between channels. And quite a lot of it was England. And didn't he have a hand in the first goal for Italy?
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much the same. He's kind of doing the Bugs Bunny thing here, there, and everywhere. So he had a hand in most things, which was good. Didn't overexert himself too much. Like he looked a gear below what he does for us. Which is a relief.
Yeah.
He didn't stretch himself too much. Yeah, he did all right. It's I think I don't know. I think if they'd applied themselves a bit more, because Dogie works well with people, doesn't he? And he was clearly looking to do that, but he is midfielder, isn't he? So he creates a half chance. It's up to everybody else who can make it into a full chance, isn't it? It's a bit like because Lo Celso came on as well for Argentina, didn't he?
Yeah.
As well, a little bit. It's almost like our players, especially Lo Celso, using it as like what kind of warm up thing, or getting back into, or feeling your legs again, which is good. I hope to see Lo Celso back, because I know he's going to probably be our backup to Maddison, but I wouldn't mind seeing them both in the same side. Those three, Dogie, Lo Celso, and Maddison, in there could be pretty devastating, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but where would you play Lo Celso? Because we've discussed this before, and he played all over the shop for Villarreal. He was up front, he was on the left, he was on the right. He was actually in centre midfield in one game. Now, I don't know how reliable this app was, but I've always thought that his best position is where Maddison plays.
Well, yeah, but he's malleable, isn't he? So I think for us, a lot of the time he played out on the right.
Yeah.
And we could still have Maddison through the middle and Lo Celso out on the right, cutting in, But then where does Kulusevski go? And I think Lo Celso on top form, which obviously he won't be, but Lo Celso on top form would be above Kulusevski on that position, I think.
You reckon? Okay.
Yeah. Just because he's a different player, but that's the whole point, isn't it? We've changed the way we play now. None of our opposition teams, no matter who we play, they never know where the goals are going to come from, and that'd be an ideal thing, I think.
Yeah. Well, because I have to say, when he first arrived, everyone was saying he should be an attacking midfielder, central attacking midfielder. And when he did play out on the right, or I think he played on the left a couple of times, he did not look as good. I don't think that he's definitely not better than Maddison in the middle. And I know that on this show, we've been big detractors of Kulusevski. I think he's picked his game up in the last few matches. Yeah. And he's absolutely run his socks off. Okay, he runs into dead ends quite a lot, but he really works hard for the team. And to me, I think he'd be one of the first names on the team sheet. What do you reckon to that, Kev?
It's all a variable, isn't it? I mean, they seem to swap roles all during the game. It's not it's a constant. There's no... They're defined as playing in certain areas, but they seem to swap about, and another person covers. And to me, it's the ideal scenario, Yeah. The only thing with Kulusevski is it with that left foot, would he be better playing on the left hand side and trying something different from that side. I don't know, because he's so predictable.
Yeah, then again, he's playing as a real winger, isn't he? He's not playing inverted.
Yeah.
So that would definitely be interesting to see, because Son's going to go through the middle now, isn't he? I think
so,
that's been decided by Postecoglou, and I'm not sure that I really trust Richarlison out on the left.
No.
Now Solomon's injured. Yeah, what's going to happen? Anyway, it was nice to see Mickey van der Ven get on for, I think it was about 5-10 minutes for the Dutch.
That's his first cap, isn't it?
Yes, no, second, I think.
I'm second, all right.
But, yeah, I might be wrong. But yeah, 22 years old. A lot of people in the Netherlands are saying, well, this guy could be the replacement for Virgil van Dijk. Not sure. Yeah, I think Van der Ven has obviously more speed than Van Dijk, and doesn't quite have the awareness just yet. But he's 22 years old. They're similar builds. The Dutch people seem to be very excited about him.
Yeah. The experience, isn't it? That's the thing. Reading the game, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, anything else to say about the international break, guys? Oh, yeah, Højbjerg. The Danes, obviously, Denmark are a little bit like Tottenham. You know, we like to give the underdogs a chance. So, San Marino scored their first goal in, I think it was 15 years in a competitive international, which was actually a really nice finish. And I could just see, we've already lost to Kazakhstan this qualifying, so I could just see us losing that. But luckily, Yusuf Poulsen came up at the back post with a lovely header. Højlund scored an absolute worldie from an impossible angle. Well, not an impossible angle, but a really tight angle straight into the top of the net. And yeah, it looks like we have to beat Slovenia in Copenhagen. Whenever is it? November, the next qualifiers.
Yeah, a few weeks' time. Yeah, that's 3 or 4 weeks' time. Yeah.
And then Northern Ireland, and then we should qualify.
That shouldn't be a problem. No. What's happened in Northern Ireland? I thought they were doing quite well. Have they lost the manager? Have they lost players? What? No, they're still got some.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But Højbjerg. Yeah, he wasn't really. None of the. As I said, I only watched it on Switch, and the little bits of play that I saw, none of the team really played well. It was an arrogant performance from Denmark, I think. You know, most teams say, right, we're going to go out and we'll play. We'll go 3-0 up half time, no problem. These guys were just like, oh, we'll just step on the pitch. We won it. And yeah, in the end, 2-1 is not exactly a great score against San Marino, is it? So yes, what can we say? Anyway, let's move on to tomorrow night's match. 7:45. No, 8 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If it's Sky, it's 8 o'clock for sure. Yeah.
So 9 o'clock for me. Great. Yeah, have to get up early for work the next day. Gotta love that. Right, so Fulham versus Spurs. Expected lineup. Or my expected
Spurs versus Fulham.
Oh, yeah. Apologies. Yeah, bloody hell. Yeah. Hang on a minute. I shall edit that.
Sorry about that. It just struck me. I thought, No,
that's all right. Because you know why that's still there? Because the last time we did a podcast was after the Fulham versus Spurs League Cup game.
League Cup game, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Spurs versus Fulham. Expected lineup: Vicario, Porro, Romero, VDV, Udogie, Højbjerg, Sarr, Kulu, Maddison, Ritchie, and Son. The reason I'm going for Højbjerg in the game was because Postecoglou has said we've got some options. Certainly, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is a ready-made replacement. He's been training really hard. He obviously probably wanted to play more because he's pretty much been a constant for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
What do we think about that team? That should be enough to...
I think so.
Yeah. To do them.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a great record against Fulham historically, which I always hesitate saying because I hate that kind of thing, especially commentators when they say, it's, the last 16 times, it's been this scoreline and there's never been a draw against all this. It's like, it literally means nothing. How many players are still there? The manager's different. Like, stat that you're talking about, we've got a new frigging stadium, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? What does it even mean? It's completely irrelevant. But
well, there's the old one behind me.
Yeah.
A big back garden.
With a big hole in the middle so you can't see it.
Sorry, Simon. Sorry.
Me personally, I want revenge for the Carabao Cup.
Badly.
I know there's only penalties, but we should have. I'm just pissed off that they're just annoying us by knocking us out of that. And then I think we should thrash them by the same scoreline that we lost on penalties, which was 5-3. Be a bell of a game. I'm not sure about. I don't know, Skip maybe instead of Højbjerg. I don't know.
You reckon? Yeah, that's a possibility. Just going on what Postecoglou said. There's some good news apparently in regards to Brennan Johnson and Brian Hill.
Yeah,
they're both back in full training, which is lovely. There's another couple of players, or there's another player as well who we will get onto later, who is back in, I don't think full training, but in light training, which is an absolute blinder. But what to expect from the Cottagers? Who misses?
Well, Diop's out, isn't he?
Is he? Okay. Yeah.
Is he? Yeah. All right.
Okay. Because I was looking at their last lineup, which was against Sheffield United, and the midfield and forward line, the way that they're playing at the moment, they look quite tasty. Alex Iwobi is apparently playing in central midfield now. Paulinho, Pereira from United. Up front, they got De Cordova-Reid, who's having a really good season. Carlos Vinicius, not so good. And Willian, again, who's having a really good season for, 35, 36-year-old.
Mm.
But I also think if they come to our place with that team and they're playing attacking, we'll slaughter them.
Yeah, absolutely. The main threat for me that they've got is Traore down, wherever they want to play him.
He's injured. He's injured.
But he's out, yeah. So they've got 3 or 4 players out, Diop included. Mm-hmm. It's and they've sold obviously their best player. So I think it should be. Do you know what would be nice? It'd be a bloody clean sheet. I know we can't expect that much the way Ange plays his teams historically, but it'd be nice to get a clean sheet, wouldn't it? Nice 3-0 solid day at the office, job done, piss off.
What do you reckon, Kev?
Yeah, they pull and blow hot and cold, don't they? They dig out these results somewhere, and then they end up losing the next one in a silly way. It's kind of it's hard to gauge them. But I think they're there for the taking. I really do. I'm thinking. I'm hoping for a 4-1. That obviously negates the clean sheet, but I'd like to see at least 4 goals going. We need to up that goal difference.
Well, seeing as we've got onto this one a little bit early, I thought
I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's all right. Simon said it as well, so
okay.
But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting because looking at it, if we win this game, we go back top of the league, and we're 2 points ahead. Mm-hmm. Now, yesterday was a pretty good day for us.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been even better if those idiots down in West London had managed to hold on to their 2-0 lead.
Yeah.
That was really a comedy of 2 goalkeepers, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Raya was terrible, and that Sanchez guy probably should have been a penalty. Well, yeah, definitely should have been a penalty. Did you see the way that he took Jesus out? Jesus out. It was like he went in there with his side straight onto Jesus' head. I'm surprised he got up after that. That was nasty. And not even a sniff of a penalty, which, thank you very much, VAR. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we didn't get Raya in the end.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't looked great since he's been there, has he? And I have a feeling that when you would say that they are two good goalkeepers who should both probably be first team goalkeepers. And when you've got that, I'm not sure how well that works. I always think that you need to have a first team goalkeeper and then a reserve who's probably not as good, but is capable to cover for injuries, cup games, etc., like we've got with Forster. But those two, they really should be first team goalkeepers, I think. And that might cause a bit of a problem in their dressing room because one or the other is not going to accept that he's sat on the bench all the time. It seems that Ramsdale is kind of accepting it, but I suppose he's probably got time on his side, hasn't he? He's a bit younger. Raya, what is he, 27? Ramsdale's what, 23, 24? I might be wrong there.
Ramsdale was a £50 million investment. You know what I mean? He's not like a year's loan. You know what I mean? And it costs $3 million. You know, so do you protect your investment or are you getting rid anyway? Because I think he has his bad days, but all keepers have bad days. Lloris and all of them. You know, they all have them clanger games. But you know, even Ederson and Alisson. You know, they're the same.
Yes,
there'll be 38 games in the season, and 3 of them they'll be totally useless. And you think they're supposed to be best in the league, you know.
Yeah.
But as for Ray, I mean, against City the other week, he was like a bag of nerves for the first tournament. He was like he couldn't put a foot right or hand right, you know.
Yeah.
But he got away with it, and they won, you know. So it's really weird. Yeah.
Yeah, City were a bit lucky yesterday against Brighton as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
Down to 10 men the last 5 minutes or whatever. I was only listening to it on the radio. And I fell asleep during match of the day last night, which is part of the course. I haven't had a chance to watch it this morning.
That's an hour later for you, don't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, my prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-1. I think it will be a little bit nervy due to the fact we can go back to the top. I always think it's better to play before rather than after. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Shades of 2016-17, wasn't it? When we played 4 Monday nights on the trot, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah. Was that Battle of the Bridge? One of those.
Yeah, all that time. Yeah.
So what are we saying then? 2-1.
Yep.
4-1.
4-1.
3-1. 3-0. 4-1. 3-0.
Okay.
Well, it's unanimous that we think we're going to win.
There's a confidence about the whole team and a bounce, you know. There's a, and that is worth a lot, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay,
so I want to go back to the Luton game, which I managed to watch with my brother and my father. Well, my father watched the second half, and he's a gooner. My father he only does it to piss us off because he's not really that interested in football. He likes rugby, but because we're a Tottenham family. Because my mum's godfather, etc. He does that. So he actually said to me at the end, "I don't think you deserve to win that," and I was like, "Yeah, right then." But one of the talking features.
The Suma, outrageous. Yeah, stupid. Yeah.
Go on, then, Kev. You've started, mate. So
he's such a talent, but you know. He was off his game. I think, you know, something was getting to him or something. And right from the off, you could see it wasn't all there. You know, he was chasing shadows and everything. I don't know, psychologically, whatever. But I hope he's got it out of him now because we need him back to where he was the week before. You know, can't be doing with that. That dive was pathetic. And I don't like to see that any Spurs player do that at any time. You know.
Yeah. But that's the problem as well. He always seems to have that in him.
Yeah,
and it needs to be coached out of him. I think he's obviously you love to see the aggression and the non-stop action, but stupid things like that is what can cost your team in the end. Now I think we were very lucky that Adebayo miss when it got caught in between his legs. I mean that should have been 1-1, and then I think they would have gone on and won it. Sorry, no, that should have been. Was it 1-0? That should have been 1-0. Shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely finish from Mickey van der Ven, though, by the way. Through a little bit of magic from Maddison.
Done a bit of a pirouette.
Yes. What do you think about Basuma-san?
Right. So I think it's a friggin' idiot. Like, this is a guy, right, that tops all the stats tables, right, or pretty much there or thereabouts. He's smashing it, like, in terms of, you know, midfield players across the league. He's got the most touches, for example. He's got the most through passes. He's in the top 10 for winning tackles and all this kind of stuff. He's topping all these tables. Why would you deliberately go and dive? If you want to go and dive like that, fuck off to Chelsea or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is it? Like, what is it with bloody French midfielders that we have, and Ndombele and bloody... They have this, like... I don't know what it is.
Basuma plays for Mali.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
But I think he might have started in France. I'm not sure. But
But it's like, well, why? Why be an idiot? It's a deliberate dive. And it's not just how you put your rest of your team at risk. Do you know what I mean? We play anybody else that day and we lose that game. And it's all because of him. It's like, I don't know if you watched the Liverpool Everton game yesterday.
I saw that on Match of the Day. Wow.
I was watching it. I'm thinking, I don't know what is this bizarre kind of brain disease that people get. Ashley Young, the most experienced player in the entire fucking pitch, and he gets himself a stupid yellow card. So what's your mindset then? It's like, right, I'm better stay on my feet for the next for the rest of the game. No. Diving in or lunging or anything. Nope. Goes and does it. Like,
yeah.
But you look at Canate as well. Canate should have been sent off. That was a blatant second yellow card, and Pawson bottled it completely.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm surprised that he is still in the Premier League as a referee, that guy.
Yeah. Pawson's just...
the amount of mistakes that he makes is,
But the annoying thing is, like, you wouldn't be bothered, would you, if it was like Højbjerg or something? You know, we've got more talented, probably more talented players that we can use to replace him. But Basuma's like smashing it in every department, and he goes and does that. Now we're not going to see him until the Palace game, I think. It's like, for fuck's sake, man! And I can't imagine Ange's, happy with that. I hope he bollocks him a good one, so that he doesn't do it again.
Yeah. So that's
wasn't at a time during the match. Sorry, Jens. I was saying during the match, we were in total control at the time. You know what I mean? It was like all them chances in the first half, in the first 10 minutes. It could have been 4 or 5-0 up. Even by half time, it could have been 6-0 up. And then all of a sudden, it's turned on its tables, and we're a man down.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the amount of chances.
The annoying thing is, like, if knowing Ange and he's the way he is, he's probably got no qualms, right, about saying, do you know what, if you keep that up, I'll get rid of you. I'll just replace you with Brian Hill or whatever. And you can move on. You can either sit on the bench for the rest of your career or with us, or you can bugger off. I should have done that in an Australian accent. And he'd be quite right in doing that. And it'd be such a shame to lose him like that, for him to go down that road. And I hope he says that to him. I hope he says, look, this is the road that you're on, or you can go down this road, mate. Like, which one do you want to do?
Yeah.
Mad.
Because he has, for me, probably been our player of the season so far.
Stand out, yeah.
Yeah. He's been absolutely everywhere. He's what we've missed since Moussa Dembele was here.
Dembele, yeah.
He's not quite as he doesn't have Velcro on his boot like Dembele did, but he's the most similar player we've had since then, and he's extremely important. And coming on to this as well, African nations, we're going to lose him and Sarr. That's our starting central midfield. We're going to play Højbjerg and Skip.
Which is all right. It's all right.
Yeah, but it's not quite as, Sarr and Basuma are relatively creative. Well, maybe not creative, but they hold on to the ball better than the other two. The other two, for me, are not quite as good, and that is why they're backup.
Yeah,
so
you put the effort in, but they're not. You're not going to get. They're not going to play balls that get you up out of your seat in the stands.
No.
I mean.
But then again, moving swiftly on to this gentleman, so it won't have to be Skip and Højbjerg. Now, Bentancur apparently is back in light training. Or maybe is it? I don't think he's going to play tomorrow, or I don't think he's going to be in the squad tomorrow. But that is extremely good news.
Yeah.
Can you imagine him and Maddison playing together? That is going to be rather special.
Yeah, I saw a clip from the training ground. Did you see that one?
No, I'm not sure I have. No.
Yeah, there was a clip from the training ground of them two passing it back and forth to each other in training in a 5-a-side or 6-a-side or wherever it was, and it's dynamic. It really was special. They were pinging it back forward to each other, like moving around. No, they couldn't get the ball off them.
Yeah.
Triangles, all in triangles,
Yeah, that's going to be exciting, I think.
If he comes back, we could change our formation based on those two in the midfield. We could stick another one up front, just because. If you've got like 3 or even 4 up front, it's just a case of waiting, isn't it? Because you've got 2 of the amazing players just behind you. And we've got such the players that we've got up front are so different to each other, different styles. You'd absolutely shit yourself if you're a defender, an opposition defender. It's going to be brilliant.
I think that would definitely work, maybe against the teams that sit back. I'm not sure that will work against teams that will come and attack us. But I suppose you never know, really, do you? I think it's exciting times that he comes back, and if he comes back as well, which is always a worry, that it was an ACL, wasn't it? That a lot of players have come back after that and not been the same player. But if he comes back the same player that he was, we are definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with.
If we get a chemistry between him and Maddison, it'd be a dream, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
He really has been putting in the work though as well, hasn't he? You can see all the shots of him training and running on beaches and weightlifting and everything else. He's definitely champion at the bit, I think, but doing it controlled in a controlled manner,
Yeah. Right, so moving swiftly on, the under-21s.
Yeah,
absolutely flying at the moment.
Yeah, was it 4 wins, 13 goals just this past week?
Yeah, and I'd like to give a big shout out to Jamie Donnelly, who I watched play a fair few times last season, and I didn't really see where the specialness was coming from. So I actually said I thought that he would probably not make it, and then this season. I've absolutely changed my mind, and I hold my hands up like I do with that Emerson Royale thingy, Simon. And there will be a signed postcard with an apology winging its way to you. But the forward line for the under 21s is looking absolutely amazing at the moment. Sunset Bell, Donnelly. Niall John is playing up there as well. Who else is there? Santiago. They're just completely different players to the ones that played last year. Now, obviously, they've got an extra year of experience and also experience for, I think it was about 2 weeks relegation. And then the Premier League decided to change the format, and we stayed in the first division. And now we're absolutely smashing it.
Yeah.
So, are there any players? I don't know. Do either of you two watch any of the games?
A little bit.
Yeah. Are there any players that you think can step up to come on the bench? And
wow.
Well, Donnelly was in the squad, wasn't he? I don't think he was.
Yeah. And also there's Phillips, who we signed from Blackburn. Dorrington.
I think Phillips might be on the bench, for tomorrow night.
Yeah, well,
I've heard a rumour.
Yeah, he could be.
What's the other one? I can't pronounce his name. Catsup Human or something.
Sunset Bell.
Yeah.
Sunset Bell. Yeah, he's a forward, and
yeah.
we signed him from Chelsea, and it was on the premise that he would get a loan.
All right.
And unfortunately, he got injured, and he didn't look that good last season. But this season, the movement of the front three that we have or the front four is just, it's amazing. There's always someone showing for the ball, and it's just I obviously I didn't have Spurs play a couple of seasons ago, but I don't think probably since David Howes and Paul Moran were in our youth team or whatever, I haven't seen such a good team.
Who's running the under-21s at the moment?
It's Wayne Burnett, who was getting absolute pelters last season for his boring football, and he wasn't good enough. And he's like one of the England managers. He picks his favourites, and you don't really have a massive pool to work with when you're working with the under-21s, are you? Because a lot of the under-18s won't be physically ready.
Yeah.
But I think he's really turned it around, and it's exciting times at Tottenham. I'm not going to go as far as to say it's going to be like the class of, 92 United. But I think we will see 2 or 3 players come through, and the rest will probably get half decent fees for. So,
yeah, but don't traditionally with the under-21s, don't we normally just? I don't know if you've seen on Spurs Play the interview with Les Ferdinand. He tells a great story on there, by the way. Like, just in case anybody watching hasn't got Spurs Play, but he recalls this time that he was playing for us, obviously, against Newcastle, and it was at Newcastle, and it was half time, and I think it was 0-0. And he needed a number 2, so he goes in cubicle. He finds out Will Fox is in the cubicle next to him, also doing the number 2. So they start chatting, right? They start chatting between the cubicle, like, because obviously Will Fox is on the wing, Ferdinand's in the middle, and they're chatting about the game, just like, in the second half, I think we can have these, if he can't keep up with you on the wing there, so they're going to change their defender there, so you'll have a bit more time. And Will Fox is saying, well, you should. If I put them into the front post, that would give you more chance of headers. And we can just like mess them around. But let's talk about the game, right? And then Les Ferdinand goes, lads are quiet out there, aren't they? You're like, yeah. Anyway, they pull the chain, right? Pull the chain, come out the cubicles. No one in the changing room. They go down the stairs, Manning Newcastle. You go down the stairs, and then there's the tunnel. They've kicked off the second half. They're playing with 9 men. Nobody even noticed. Nobody noticed they weren't there. Nobody noticed.
Well, to be honest, that doesn't surprise me. Ferdinand and Will Fox, can't say they impressed me much. I think I remember seeing Ferdinand score a hat-trick against Leicester. Well, no, it was Derby at the old White Hart Lane. I was sat right up in the gods in the old South Stand, Park Lane. And that was the best game I think he had for us. I still think that Chris Armstrong was better than he was, but yeah.
Well, yeah, that's good. I mean, he had a lot of injuries and stuff. Ferdinand.
That's opinion,
but Ferdinand was saying, he'd done some coaching roles and stuff with us, and he always makes sure the under-21s and the under-16s and all that, they always know that almost most of you are not going to get, scholarships and contracts and stuff, and the ones that do will probably get poached by somewhere else. So I've always had the similar view of under 21s. It's just like I don't hold much hope even for the best players for us retaining them. I don't know if that's the same. I'd like to be wrong on that, but based on what Ferdinand was saying, I'm just like, well, yeah, but that's all great, especially this past week and everything. But what are their ambitions? Are they actually Man United fans or something, and then or do they? I don't know. It's so hard to tell, especially the younger you get as well, because the you might have things like ego issues there, and greed and all that kind of stuff, which is, I don't know. I'm presuming here, but I'm not optimistic in terms of keeping our youngsters.
I think it's changed a little bit now. We're going down to under 18 level now. So Mikey Moore and I don't know what his first name is, or I can't pronounce his first name, Olacy, are two extremely highly rated England under 17 players. And usually you would have seen those two get poached by City, get poached by Chelsea. They've both signed professional contracts recently. And it seems to me that I think that they kind of see a little bit more of a path through to the first team with Postecoglou here. I mean, you can understand why what's his name, Madueke left. Who was the other highly rated guy who went to Italy? But all of these players left because Conte was there, and Conte's always said, "I don't want to play youth players. I want ready-made players because I want to win." But now we haven't seen it. I mean, we've seen a few of the younger players on the bench, but Postecoglou seems to be one of those guys. Well, if you're playing well enough, you'll get a start, or you'll at least get on the bench. I don't discriminate against age. If you're good enough at 18 years, and if you're good enough at 30, you're still going to play. So obviously the training ground is we thought that it was a big thing before, but it's a great training ground. But if you don't have a manager who is going to say, "Oh, there's a possibility you can get on the bench if Matey Boy's not playing next week," or maybe you start in the cup, then if they can see a way through, then they might hang around. And we won 2 cups last season with the under 19s in the Premier League Cup and the another cup. Can't remember what it was. So it's something to definitely be excited about.
Okay.
Okay. So I just wanted to put this in. R.I.P. Sir Bobby Robson. It's not Bobby Robson, is it? It's fucking dick.
No. Charlton.
Yeah,
No.
Bobby Charlton. Yeah. Apologies for that.
You beat me to it.
I slept really well last night, and I don't know what's going on today.
You missed Sir Bobby Robson there.
Depends what you're smoking.
Yeah. No, I don't smoke that shit, Kev. Yeah, even though it's very popular over here, it's not my thing. I prefer a beer. But R.I.P. Sir Bobby Charlton. My father met him at a trade show once, and had a good chat with him, and told him that I was a Spurs fan, and I got a signed picture saying, "Good luck, Jens. Come on, you Spurs," or something like that. I've got it upstairs somewhere. I'll have to dig it out. So he sounded like a real gentleman, and to have gone through what he went through with the whole Munich disaster and stuff like that, and still go on to be, a lot of people consider him one of United's best ever players. And massive shame that, or it must be upsetting for the family that he had dementia, and so I'd like to say R.I.P. from the word legend gets banded about far too much, he was definitely one of them. So Kev, do you have any? I'm sure.
Yeah, I remember seeing him play. First time I saw him play was at Highbury. Because I don't know if I told you before, my dad used to take me to Highbury because it was near to where we lived in Stonehaven. And there was night games over there. It was always a night game, and Man United came down to play Arsenal, and it was a cracking game. Arsenal had a lot of superstars then, although they weren't doing very good. That was like the early 60s. They were like, Spurs was the main team, But Arsenal had Ian Ure and Georgie Armstrong and McClintock and Pat Rice and all good names that went on to win the double about 8 or 10 years later. But Bobby Charlton was playing, Best was playing. It was about 63, 64 or something like that. They had all their superstars as well, and they went on to sort of win the European Cup.
Yeah.
And it was the basis of that team. You know, you had Crerand and Yor. No, Yor was playing for Arsenal actually that time. Ian Yor was playing for Arsenal, and he eventually went to Man United. I didn't rate him as a player at all, but I remember patches of it, you know, because it was a night game, and the night games were always better and more spectacular. And I was only like 8 or 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
Then I obviously saw him at Lane many occasions when they came down, with or without Bestie, depending whether Best turned up on the day or not. But Old Trafford, I saw him up there quite a few times when I went up there to watch him as well. You know, never saw him playing international games, but you know, he was a complete engine. You know, he was box to box, up and down, and a cracking shot on him. You know, and he played the game. You know, it's just fantastic. Yeah, he really was.
Yeah. Simon, have you got any memories or anything like that?
No, I mean, I'm only 18, so you know, I never really saw him. You keep bugging. No, but I've seen plenty of clips over the years of him playing. Really exciting player. It's a completely different game back then, of course, than what it is now. There was acres of space in midfield back then, whereas it's completely the opposite now. But to see him, you know, like Kev said, you know, he's like an engine. When they like just see him running through with the ball and then putting, you know, 30, 40-yard belters in. Just really exciting stuff. It's you're right. Legend is too common a word these days, but he's definitely one of them. I'm not sure how many players we've got left of our only World Cup winning team now. How many have we got left?
Jeff Hurst. Only Jeff Hurst.
Yeah.
Blimey. Yeah. So
can we just freeze him?
Yeah.
No, but you know, West Ham won the World Cup, didn't they? So they probably will.
Yeah. Their generation.
Stick him on a mantelpiece outside the Athletics Stadium, you know. Cryogenically freeze him.
Raise it around the athletics track.
I never saw Bobby Charlton with hair. He always had the flappy bit, you know.
Yes, it came over, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what he has.
I hate to say that I actually got a meme earlier of R.I.P. Bobby Charlton, and it was the guy out of the Hamlet advert, you know, Ramsey Nesbitt. So, yeah, sorry about that.
Well, taking the piss out of someone that he felt like one of my favourite uncles, you know what I mean, when I was watching him play, because he was, you know, it was in the time when you didn't hate opposition players, because you appreciated how good they were, you know. Yeah. This is it, you know. Not like today when you hate every Arsenal player that's ever put a shirt on, you know. Yeah.
And especially the manager.
As well, yeah.
Okay, moving swiftly on. Spurs women. Yeah. They're doing rather special. I know, Simon, you watch a fair bit of that. I have to say I'm guilty of not really looking at that. What was it, 4-2 yesterday?
Yeah, cracking game. It's worth seeing the highlights, which, you know, Spurs aren't that great at doing highlights, unfortunately, but on YouTube you can find the highlights. Especially our first goal, because it seems to be an almost given tradition now that Spurs women will go, like, it's about the same as the men, I suppose, you know, let's go 1-0 down straight away, pretty quickly. Their goal, it was a penalty. It's just clumsy from our defender. But our first goal was a beauty. It's worth seeing there. Martha Thomas scored a hat-trick yesterday in the 4-2 win. And it was, we're going great guns. You know, it's such a marked difference from last season. And let's not forget, Beth England is, you know, our star player is out injured at the moment still. So, it's really encouraging. So far, so good. Touch wood and all that.
So I have to say I don't really know an awful lot about the squad since Jenna Scalacci and who was it? Alex Morgan, etc., etc. But I see we've got a couple of Finnish players who've come in. I don't know anything about this Martha girl. Tell me, has she come through the ranks? Has she been signed from elsewhere or?
I'm not sure. I'm seeing her play for the first time this season. I've because of last season, I'm just kind of like I'm not really looking at any of you lot that are in this squad apart from Beth England without you know, I'm not really investing much time in you because you'll either be off or you'll be dropped, or it'll be such a change around in personnel like it was last season. But obviously, new manager and everything. So she's great. She's got a lot of awareness. She's really good awareness, as you'll see for the first goal in yesterday's win. So she really knows her stuff, and we've got a good mix of players. Like I say, if they manage to get any consistency with squad selection, because we've got a good mix of experienced ones that have been there for a while, and obviously the new ones. So like Ashley Neville, for example, who scored.
Yeah, Ashley Neville. Yeah.
Yep. She's been there a long time, and she's been good overall, but she's known for the odd howler. Well, was known for the odd howler the last few seasons. But you know, the fact that she scored yesterday means that I think the whole mentality is very similar to the men's game because of the new manager coming in. The whole mentality has changed.
They've lifted. They've got team spirit as well, haven't they? It's nice to see. Yeah,
and I think when you look at last season and the games that we lost, really, really frustrating. It was a confidence issue. It really was, and it's because we get, especially against the Gooners and stuff, where you know we'd hold them because we've been, you know, down the bottom half of the table most of the time. So we'd hold teams way above us and then just mess it up in the last 5-10 minutes to go, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah,
and that's a confidence thing, that's a concentration thing, and I think
it's an experience thing, I think, as well, isn't it? Because
but again,
for years now, and we've only really come on in the last 5 years or so. So it's who is the new manager?
Wilhelmen.
Okay, Swedish.
German.
Okay.
It's a good guy, you know.
It's a guy, is it? Okay.
Yeah. He's he knows what he's talking about. He's pretty confident, again, like Ange. You know, he's got a clear plan in his head, knows where he wants to go, and very optimistic. So it's all looking good. Now I've said all of that, we'll go and lose 3 on the fucking trot.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd like to say hello to Alan. Good to see you, mate. Thought I hadn't seen you in a while, and no worries. You've not listened to many Spurs YouTube channels of late. Yeah, don't worry about it. This one's the best, so this is the only one you really need to listen to.
All you need, Alan. This is all you need, mate.
But nice to see you, mate. I hope you're well. But unfortunately, we're kind of coming towards the end of the show. But if he says he doesn't follow women's football. That's not a problem. Oh no, why did I say that? Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't follow women's football, I'm afraid. No, that's fine. If you rewind when we're finished, then you'll see that we were talking about the men's game for most of the show. But now let's go on to final bit. Any other business and plugs? Does anyone have anything else that they'd like to discuss?
Well, I was wondering where all our expectations are this season. Like, what are you guys expecting from us?
Kev, you can go first on that.
I didn't quite catch the gist of that. I was hoping.
Yeah, just wondering
what are your expectations?
Yeah, what we expecting at the end of the season? What do you reckon?
Oh, expectations. Sorry, I thought you said recommendations. That's what it was like. Recommendations. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Definitely top 4. Is that too vague?
No.
I don't think we win it. I think City will stroll it again. But you never know. They've been rough and tumble this year, aren't they? That's what I'm hoping, you know. But I think we'll get definitely top 4.
Well, you look at the Gooners as well yesterday. I mean, from what I heard in pre-season, it was Arsenal's year again. They're turning into Liverpool, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's our year, mate. But I don't think there's any team that is. It's not like it's been over the last, maybe not last season, but I kind of expected City to win it last season. Yeah. I think it's a lot more competitive this year.
City, Liverpool, us,
Yeah.
and Arsenal.
Yes. Yeah.
Brighton are up there as well, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, they're not doing too badly, are they?
They're grinding results out, aren't they? But they don't look great. I mean, they've scratched a few of them, and they got a few lucky penalties and stuff like that. And
I'd just like to just like to interrupt this broadcast to say I apologise profusely to all of my in-laws because Ajax are losing 2-0 to Utrecht, and they're probably going in the relegation zone today.
oh, that's odd.
It's going really bad there.
Yeah, I saw that last week. They were saying how bad it's got. Yeah,
really, really bad. But anyway, we're meant to be talking about Spurs, so I really think that I agree with what you say, Kev. Top four. We're going to give every team a good go. I mean, Liverpool have been really, really good this season, and it ain't our fault that VAR cocked up, is it?
no.
I mean, you'd say that from what you hear from Liverpool, it's all a big conspiracy because everybody hates the Scousers, and which is true. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's I don't think you can hardly blame us for that. And them all going on about it should be replayed and stuff like that. How many games should be replayed because of referees' mistakes? Only because it's that twat Klopp and all these Scousers are so self-entitled that they think anything goes against them. Oh, the world's against us, etc.
Yeah, but look at yesterday. They got it. They got it in droves yesterday. They got they ain't moaning about yesterday's game. You know, where they got the handball and the pull down and all this and all that.
That's the thing. I have to slightly disagree with you. I don't think Liverpool have played that great this season, especially looking at yesterday's game. They scraped through basically with a penalty. You know, and they begged and dived.
It's a derby game, though.
I think even the Ashley Young sending off was harsh because I think it was a bit of a dive on that second one with what's his name.
But that's the thing. We're in. It's a cynical foul, I think. But we're in that kind of atmosphere now with referees, aren't we? Where you can be booked for calling him a very naughty boy or whatever. Yeah. It's the thing is, I definitely don't think it should be replayed, but they should have the point. Give them a point, because
that sets a precedent. Then that sets a precedent.
Well, and I think it'd be a good precedent, though. Because if there's things like that which are majorly obvious, there's no point in replaying it because it, like you say, it wasn't our fault. I think we'd have won that still anyway. But it's a case of they've been robbed, and at that point could mean something at the end of the season to whatever team it is, not just Liverpool, to whatever team it is. So give them a point, but the result stays the same. And that way, we don't need VAR and all that. We just need better referees. We just need to train them better. You look at I follow NFL, American football, and it's they're just trained better. And they have all the VAR and all that.
Look at rugby; you can hear what the referee's saying.
Yeah, exactly.
And they talk. It's only the captain who can talk to the referee. And they do sometimes make mistakes, but it's a lot more. It's a lot clearer. Whereas with football, it's like, no, I'm not talking to you. You get away from me. Right, yellow card. I'm amazing. They seem to think that they are some kind of gods. The referees. Yeah. And I have to say I agree with that, Alan. Give him a point, no chance. I don't think that's. I don't think that's correct. Referees, as you say, referees need to be. It's swings and roundabouts. The referees need to be better trained. They need to have, I think, more support as well, because if you get 11 players, well, not 11 players, but you get 4 or 5 players surrounding you, you feel a bit threatened, and you're like, oh, hang on a minute, And not all referees are like Collini, who would just say, "Step away, otherwise I'm going to knock you out." Yeah. It's just, can you imagine Craig Pawson doing that? You'd like blow on him and he'd fall over. So it's just they need more support. I know there's a lot of money involved, and if they just were a little bit more transparent, and a little bit more, not we are the referee, you do not question what we say. And they're a little bit more willing to talk to players. I think that might it might improve the game, but what do I know?
You need consequences as well. You know, it's not. There's always this thing, like especially the one from the Liverpool game. He's back refereeing in the Premier League now, and it's like, just step away for a couple of weeks and then come back, and then hopefully everybody will have forgotten about it.
Yeah.
But no, mate. Like if I tell you what, refs, if you've made 3 mistakes so far this season in a certain amount of games that have led to a significant result one way or the other, then you're fired. Fuck off. Simple as that.
Yeah. But no one wants to be a referee these days, do they? You see all this stuff from grassroots football as well. Referees getting punched and abused by parents. And it's just, come on. It's
the mindset needs changing on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, where were we?
That's a good question.
Expectations for the end of the season.
Yeah, I think top 4. I'm not going to get ahead of myself just yet. I'm really enjoying it at the moment. It just seems like we've got the identity of the club back.
Yeah,
there's not this hatred between fans anymore. Yeah, I suppose still with the Levy in, Levy out, but not quite as much. But it's because we're winning and we're playing attractive football. So I think top 4. I'm not going to go as far as to say we're going to win thing. It would be lovely. If you remember the season that Leicester won it, they had an awful lot of contentious decisions as well. And it's nice to be watching football that I enjoy again. I used to enjoy watching us in the 90s because we still attacked, but we couldn't defend for shit. I still enjoyed it. So top 4 and semi-finals of the FA Cup.
Oh, I hate that. Not again.
Again.
Yeah. I'm getting too old for all this. I'm running out of time to see us win another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you mentioned Levy there, Daniel. If he gets his hands in his pocket early in January or gets some deals set up before that, who knows? You get a couple of players in, you know.
What would you like to see?
Well, a striker and a midfielder.
I think we need a central defender as cover because I'm not sure that Dorrington and Phillips will be good enough to step in, and then that leaves us with Davis and Dyer. Who knows? Yeah, it was kind of sad the other day. I don't know if you saw that video on Twitter that they were filming everybody coming into Spurs Lodge.
Yeah,
and Dyer walked in and said, "Don't film. You know you won't use it." And that was like, well, okay. So maybe he's kind of being pushed out. I don't know. He's been a good servant. I remember his debut when he scored against West Ham. That was absolutely brilliant.
That's right.
And he's had some really good games, but I don't think he's not a centre back, and we don't play with a defensive midfielder anymore. So he can't play in centre midfield. I don't see where we'd use him. He definitely can't be a right back either. It's not
gets caught out of position too long, doesn't he? Too often.
Yeah.
It's going to go. I hope it doesn't go down the Danny Rose route. You know, where it gets to that ridiculous point where things are said and regrets are made, and that it should just be a case of Lloris as well. It should be a case of like, look, you've given us some great memories, but you know you can't play now for us. Got to go. You just got to go.
Yeah, bridges have been burned in that respect, haven't they? I think there's too much. Too far.
So, you said about expectations, Simon. I'm not sure you're giving us yours.
Yeah, I'm not bothered about the league, to be honest, because really, you don't get promoted or anything, so it's pointless, really. And it puts extra pressure on us for the following season. So I want the FA Cup. I want the FA Cup. It's the best domestic competition going. And it's one of the few things that proves you are the best in the country. And so I'm riding on that wave of, like you said, how we're playing football is what really matters, and we're all enjoying it, and we're all unanimous for the first time in God knows how long. Because you look at the past few seasons, a few managers, even maybe apart from Nuno, everybody was Nunes, Nuno, whatever. He was pretty unanimous on him, but there's always this is Conte in people and then Conte out people, and same with Mourinho, and it's everybody's unanimous with Ange and completely agreeing with him. And it's like he measures success by the fans and how well we've performed. Trophies are a consequence of that. But I love the FA Cup and I want the FA Cup. I'm not bothered about anything else.
6 games, that's all. 6 games.
Yeah. I'd have to say, I like what Alan says there. Wait until Ange gets more of his players in and we have more squad depth. Then I will have expectations. I think it's, that's a very good point.
That Brighton lad signed a contract the other day, didn't he, for another 4 years? Was it Momota or his name is? What's his name?
Mitoma.
Mitoma, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
the Japanese guy. Yeah, I don't think we were getting him in the first place. Yeah. He'd be far too expensive. Yeah. I would have loved to have seen that Evan Ferguson, but then again, you look at the Irish strikers at Brighton. Do you remember Connolly absolutely destroyed us one day, 3-0. Right. Loris had an absolute nightmare. I think he's playing in League One now.
Somewhere like that, yeah.
Yeah,
not doing well.
So I wouldn't. I'm not saying just because he's Irish, Kev, but it's
I know.
It's
it's a one-hit wonder kind of thing. Yeah.
I hope we can stay top or thereabouts, because let's assume we're going top on Monday. Shit, I've just jinxed it.
Get out! Out!
Jinx.
You're not invited next week. Alan, are you available, mate?
And we got Palace on Friday, of course.
Have we?
I hope we can stay.
Palace on Friday? What? Okay.
Palace on Friday evening at Crystal Palace. We go 5 points clear if we win both team games.
Bloody hell. Okay.
I hope we can stay more or less top till January, and then it'll be really interesting to see what happens in January with the window. I hope Ange gets his way. Let's not forget who our chairman is. I really hope Ange gets his way to a more of a degree than previous managers have. That's the key thing, isn't it? It's not just getting ones in; it's keeping players, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah. Who was it that someone? If you just bear with me a moment, I saw something on Spurs Community the other day about a free transfer who we will possibly be looking at.
I mean, I have told him I'm available. Just waiting to hear back. Yeah.
They got
but it's, there's something we haven't talked about is the new sporting director, Johan Langer. Anyone know anything about him?
Nothing at all.
Okay. Because who are they?
I think I was watching I was trying to find out the other day, and I came across the Spurs podcast that started talking about him, but you can't really talk about him without talking about Mullen. So they never really got to, talking much about him at all. So no.
Okay.
What is he, Dutch or German or what?
He's German, I believe.
German.
But he was at Villa, and I'm definitely hearing some mixed reviews.
Well, I heard that it's a mistake from our point of view, because there's a lot of people saying, on paper, he's done some good stuff at Villa, but it's pretty mixed because a lot of the players that he got in weren't his. They weren't his. They were coming anyway, kind of thing.
Right.
They were already signed anyway. So I don't know. It's all conjecture, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
it remains to be seen with things like that. Same as Mullen, isn't it? Like,
yeah. No, I can't find it. But they were talking about some players. Kelly from Bournemouth, the centre back.
All right.
And also that Tosin Adebayo from Fulham. They're apparently out of contract in January, which thought was that a little. I thought that was a little bit strange.
Was Kelly the Spurs supporter?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but from what I heard from Bournemouth fans, he's not even a regular in the Bournemouth side. Oh. So yeah, that'd be interesting. But to be honest, if you look at the team that we have now, what is it? 5 or 6 of them are Paratici signings.
Yeah.
A lot of people gave him a lot of discredit, I think, but he's done some extremely good work for Spurs, and it's just a shame that he's a dodgy motherfucker.
He's a dodgy git. He broke the law. Yeah.
Who's the United player that's getting frozen out up there? I can't remember which one it is.
Cool. That doesn't matter.
De Jong? Is it De Jong or?
No, I thought it's not Sancho, is it? No.
Yeah, it's Sancho. Yeah, it is Sancho. Yeah. His wages will be too much, and he's an arrogant bastard.
He wants to go abroad anyway, I think.
Does he?
Probably.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, we want to be rebelling them on that kind of big earning, massive earnings, and successful clubs kind of thing. And
in the sunshine.
We want to be moving away from bloody United,
Yeah. Okay then, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up now. Anyone got anything to plug? Anyone got anything else to say before we go?
Not for me.
No, all good.
No, just can't wait for tomorrow night. I've been waiting all bloody weekend. It's like, come on,
Yeah. There's a last message from Alan. We now have a normal Spurs situation. Everyone's saying we should roll over Fulham. That's the type of game we normally lose.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me. But thank you very much, Alan, for coming on today. I think you're one of our only viewers. It's always a pleasure. And we'll be sending you a RVTV mug very soon.
Yeah.
So come on, you Spurs, and good to chat to you. If you want to have a chat backstage, then hang on after the countdown. And
if we lose tomorrow night, sorry everybody watching. Sorry, it's my fault. Jinxed it. I'm a twat.
I wouldn't say you're a twat, but it would be your fault.
We know where you live.
You? I don't.
Up north somewhere. It's up north.
Okay then, fellas. Have a lovely Sunday. Take care.
You too. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Come on.